Hi everyone, this is Spaghettikid and I'm going to be I'm going to be playing Kerbal Space Program. And this is going to be episode 2 of my little series. And I'm going to build another ship, if you can call it that, which I will intend to dock with the ship I launched last episode, which is Orbiter 1, which is here. So I'll just fly this so you can see it, if you haven't already. So all it is a small ship. There's a decoupler here, but I still have quite a bit of fuel here, so there's no point getting rid of that fuel. So I have another fuel tank, RCS, solar panels, mech jeb, and a little docking port here. So I'm going to build something I can dock onto the top that will hopefully make this more of a space station. So lots of big solar panels and things like that. So I'm just going to go Space Center. And I'm going to go to the building to build my space station-y type thing. Okay, so I'm going to want this to be like a long spherical kind of ship, but not a ship. So it doesn't want to be pointy, it just wants to be like this at one end. Then I'm going to want something like a battery pack, but not randomly in the middle of that. Battery packs are really useful to have, just because they are. Hitchhiker storage is always quite a good thing to have. SAS at the other end, just so I can turn the ship. And there's a couple of other things that I like having. I always try and, when I build a space station, have as many docking ports. Not as many, but like I always try and have plenty of docking ports. So I'm also going to want to try and go center of mass. I'm going to want to have the center of mass as close to the middle as possible. So I want the center of mass to basically be where this window is. So I think I'm going to want to put RCS. No, not RCS. I think I'm going to want to put an RCS tank there. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. Okay, get rid of that. So that was a battery pack. However, I don't actually want a battery pack there. Attach you to there, and then you on top, and then you on top. I want more weight at the top, so I'm going to attach one of you, and I'm going to put 4 little solar panels. Make sure you are exactly where I want you. Yep, about equal distance. Okay. I'm just going to quickly want to put mech jeb on here, just because I can. Don't put 4 mech jebs, just 1. I should show it here, just so it's on the right side. So my centre of mass is almost perfect. I do want it slightly higher, which I'm not quite sure what to do about, because I don't want to put too much. Oh, I've got a little tip for everyone. If you didn't know, if you click Alt and then click on a part, it will like copy that part, which is really useful and something quite good to note if you ever want to know that. Okay, so I'm going to quickly, well, I say quickly, I'm going to want to put on some radial attachment points, but I only want 2. I want to try and get them as close in the middle, get rid of you so it's not in the way. Okay, so I think I'm going to need to put something up here. And I think I've got an idea of what I can do actually. If I put a probe body, that means I don't have to have any Kerbals in there. So centre of mass now is about perfect. Just a tiny bit there. That should be fine. Okay. We don't want 2 of these, we only want 1 of these. So go there and stay there. Okay. So we've also got the probe body, which just means if we don't have Kerbals, we're still okay. So we're not going to like have a random spaceship floating around. I don't really need any of those. Something I do need is to attach something to here. So I'm going to go to structural, and I love having little interesting structures like this. So I'm going to want 2 of these. And I want one of these. And then I'm going to want to go above it, line up these 2 things so I can see like that they're all lined up properly. Or try to. And try and get these lined up as like straight as you can. Like that. You just want them as central as you can, otherwise it will look a bit weird, but as well as looking weird, it will actually be weird, because they'll be wonky basically. So I think that is about fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Don't need to fiddle around too much. And on the ends of these, you could put something. I think I usually do that. Just so it's got something rounded on the end. But you could. What should we do? We don't really want too much weight outside, like outwards. We just want solar panels. I suppose we could have lights. That's one thing we could have. Oh, don't want all of that. Just want you. Okay. Also get some lights on here. Some lights on there. And all that'll mean is that if any spaceships come to dock, I'll be able to see like everything when I'm docking with it. Okay, so that is my like space station module. So it has everything it needs. It's got no fuel, so it won't. Once it's detached from whatever it's attached to, it relies solely upon RCS thrusters, which are these little ones, which are lined up in the middle. And we've got an RCS tank. We've got Kerbal storage, just so we can have extra Kerbals if we needed to store any, so we don't have to kill them, whatever. And we've got solar panels. So I'm going to quickly go to action groups and go to 0. So 0 is what I usually do. And click toggle panels, and I want the top ones and the bottom ones. So when I click 0, all these panels will go out, which just means you'd have to go right click, then right click, right click, right click. And actually, I'm just gonna get you. Get you, if I can. Put you there. There's always like convenient sized spots which look like they should have things attached to them, so solar panels seem to fit very nicely there. Don't worry about having our mech jib on the side of your ship. Usually you want to have everything symmetrical so you don't have odd weights that are like sticking out or something. But mech jib weighs a tiny amount. I don't even know what it says. 1 to the -5. So it's like 0.00001 0.0001 4 knots, I think. 1. So it hardly weighs anything, so it won't affect it in any noticeable way. Okay, so I'm going to want to put another docking port attached to that, and then also this there. And then basically there's going to be a rocket attached under there, but not like that. Although we will want that eventually. However, something I always do is have loads of struts connecting between these two, because they will wobble like hell. If you don't have struts, this whole thing won't work, because all the weight is balancing on this small joint, and it will just wobble, and the top section will basically fall off. It's all windy outside. It's just started raining. It looks silly without anything at this end. Thinking I could have something like that, and then that, and I could have a little docking port here. Docking port junior. Yeah, I like that. Do I want anything like a battery? Why not? Yeah, that looks quite nice. Just means if I want to have a probe or anything, that's just an idea I had just randomly. Should have thought of that years ago. That's a really good idea. Okay, so now I want to have the ship that goes below. Now I'm just going to drag all that up. And actually, before I do any of that, I'm going to want to call this Space Station Module. Well, I'll just call it Space Station actually. And then save, just so you have that saved, so when your game crashes and destroys itself, you know it's not gone forever. Okay, so now we want our like orbit stage. So we're going to want to have quite a lot of fuel. Now I do think we're going to need slightly more than we had for the previous thing, because we obviously have a heavier kind of top section. So no, I don't want a skipper. Skipper's like my evil enemy now. It haunts me. It goes, ha ha, yeah, you failed because of me. So I'm going to want some of these and some of those, and fuel pipes. Now I think the problem with this is that these jet engines probably won't be able to lift this whole thing, which means I'll have to have this engine on, which is a little bit annoying, because it just is. Just remembering what I'm thinking. What I need some of these. Always make sure your fuel pipes are going the right way. I think mine are, because you take them from where you want the fuel to be from, and where you want the fuel to go to. I want some of these, so I can steer. And you want to have your centre of lift below your centre of mass. And I'm going to want some struts. And I'm going to shove them in here. These ones are going to have to be a bit awkward. Okay, that should be fine. But I'm going to need a slightly bit more fuel, so I think what I'm going to do is to shove an extra fuel tank in there. And should I? I think I should. I'm also going to add I'll try it without. There's no harm trying, it just means I might crash and die. Okay. So we also need, I'm forgetting about this, I always forget these. Okay, so I'm going to want to go to action groups. So this is what you didn't see last time because I didn't do it, but now you've seen me build this whole thing from scratch. So this is basically what I did, except with a very simple top module. So number 1, you don't have to do it this way, I have to toggle my mainsail. Number 2 is for my jet engines. And then number 3, I don't know. But I usually have it that the last engine, the last stage engine is 1. The first stage engine will be whichever number I need to go to. So if you count down from here, I've got 1 and 2. So 1 here, and then 2 will be these radial engines, the jet engines. So I'll just save that and launch. And I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about this. Biggest famous line ever. Got a bad feeling about this. It's from like Star Wars, I think. They're always saying I've got a bad feeling about this. Okay, so just check things like the solar panels open, which they do. They're all facing the wrong ways, which is annoying, but put them away. Put it away! Check the lights work. The lights do work, which is they look really good actually. That's really nice. Shadows are quite good, you can see all the shadows of everything. Okay, so turn the lights off. Just because I don't want to waste electricity, even though I've got like 6,000 electricity, which should be fine. Interesting fact I found out the other day is that I think it is Saturn V or Saturn, one of the Saturn spaceships, produced one of the I think 5 engines or however many engines it had. One of the engines it had produced more power in like kilojoules or whatever they're measured in joules, than the whole of the United States of America. So it just puts into comparison how much power they have, which is quite an interesting thing.